I'm Matt Hotchberg from MGMstudios.org. On the show today is Mike Newell of Mouse World Radio. Mike, I decided to go with you first today. Consider yourself special.
I always feel special in your presence.
Thank you. I appreciate the groveling. And a man who doesn't grovel nearly enough to me, it's Len Testa of the Unofficial Guide to Walt Disney World. Welcome, Len.
How's it going, Matt?
Outstanding. And, of course, we have Mike Scopa of MousePlanet.com. Welcome, Michael.
Hello, I'm Sharon Brooks, Director of Undercover Live. Today we'll be following Police Detective Charlie Foster.
Oh, sounds dangerous. MGM Studios. I am on.
You are on.
On today's show, we're talking about the Walt Disney World Marathon. Mike Scopa, what are the dates for the marathon?
Okay, it's actually the marathon weekend will be on January 4th through the 7th, 2007. The half marathon is on the Saturday of January 6th, and the full marathon is January 7th, Sunday morning.
All right. And the marathon, of course, runs through the theme parks of Walt Disney World, and it's really considered one of the more family-friendly marathons, isn't it?
Well, there are a whole bunch of things going on. Actually, on Friday, excuse me, it really starts off, the weekend itinerary starts off on Thursday. There's a Disney's Health and Fitness Expo at Disney's World of Sports, and it's where everybody picks up their race packets, and there are places where you can go and take a look at the latest in racing gear, running shoes, and things like that. It's for the whole family. And then Friday, there is I believe it's at Disney MGM Studios at 7 o'clock in the morning. They have a family fun run. It's 5K. It's only 3.1 miles, and that's for the whole family. That's a nice kind of family-friendly kind of thing. And then they also have at the Wild World of Sports that day, at the complex there, they have a family fun run kids race celebration there. So it really is a full weekend of family things. And then we get into the serious stuff when Saturday comes and we start doing the half marathon. But there's also fun runs on Saturday for the family, and then Sunday we have the big one, the grandfather, the big marathon.
Yeah, the fun run in Epcot is the fun run in Epcot on Saturday, just like it was last year.
I think Saturday it looks
it's like a 3K, something like that.
It's going to be at the World of Sports, Len, I think.
Isn't there something on? Because last year wasn't there a run in Epcot?
I
might have been hallucinating after the run.
No, you're right. There was. I remember seeing something in the parking lot. They had some family thing in the parking lot.
Yeah.
But
no, wasn't it running through the park? Wasn't it running through Epcot?
I don't recall because
it was a good race last year.
Because the thing. Are you talking that Saturday? Or are you talking Sunday?
Maybe it was on Sunday.
See, I don't recall.
I thought it was like a family fun run then. But was it the studios you say, or it's at the?
It's at the family. The 5K is on Friday morning at the studios at 7 o'clock, and then they're also having races at World of Sports on Friday and Saturday.
And now running in a Walt Disney World Marathon is different from running in, those other marathons that you might have run into because of the scenery you have. Len, why don't you tell us a little bit about what makes Disney World Marathon a little bit different than say one where you run through a city or wherever else it might be.
Well, one of the fun things about running in the Disney race is you get to run through the theme parks. So, for example, you'll run through the Magic Kingdom very early in the morning with all the lights off, in the dark with all the lights on. And although it would be pretty fun if you did run with the lights off, so you'll actually run through the
Not if you broke your ankle.
Yeah, really, exactly. Yeah, you never want to do that. You'll actually run up Main Street, and if the parks are open. You'll be doing it to cheering throngs of crowds, which is really cool. You'll run through Tomorrowland, make a left into Fantasyland, run back through the castle, then out past Splash Mountain, and then run by some resorts. Then you'll run into the Animal Kingdom and run through the side entrance around the perimeter of Discovery Island, like past. You go past Pizzafari? Through Africa, into Asia for a little bit. You run through the studios. It really gives you a sense to see some of the backlot areas of all the parks that you never get to see. Scobie, I don't know if you remember, but when we ran the last couple of years past in the Magic Kingdom, when you leave Splash Mountain, you get to see like discarded parade float stuff,
I
going
remember-
on either side of the road.
I remember last year running through that, and I heard some guy way behind me saying, "Don't look, close your eyes," because of the.
It's like the head of one of the characters is on the side of the road, 8
Exactly.
feet tall. That's a lot of fun, and again, it's stuff that you never get to see. Stuff that the backstage areas that you just never get. You also run here for the full marathon. You're running through the Epcot resort area, so you're going to run past the Dolphin and the Swan and the Beach Club and the Yacht Club, and you go through Boardwalk too. I think so.
You come, you run
Around the
from
Boardwalk.
MGM. Yeah, you run from MGM Studios to near the Boardwalk Villas, and you cross over to the Swan and Dolphin Complex, go past Stormalong Bay, and then you get into International Gateway. Then you run counterclockwise around World Showcase to the finish line, which is right outside. I believe
Wonders
it's
of
in
Life,
Discovery. I think it's in the Discovery.
You run
parking
past
lot, I'm
Wonders
not
of
sure.
Life. I'll tell you, man. Last year when I was running the half, that turn and cause you finish up in Epcot. The run from World Showcase Lagoon to past Wonders of Life was like the hardest. That and actually running the last 2 miles, I think were kind of difficult, probably because I was spitting Vaseline out during most of it. But that was kind of hard. Then that last mile just went on and on for me. And I wasn't the one with the broken foot.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I mean that's a funny. Not all of our listeners, know about that story. It's funny to us. Mike Scopa, why don't you tell our listeners about your marathon experience last year?
Well, I'm only going to tell it because I'm hoping that it will prevent others from being as stupid as I was last year. I was running along at a very good clip, I might add, and when
you were running like at a 2.5 hour pace.
Yeah, I was going really fast. It was like amazing. The thing is that, and we should mention this, that Len, I don't know if you feel the same way, but when at the starting point, it's very surreal in the morning. There are 35,000 people at Epcot at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. There's music blaring. You can hear the music from Illuminations being played.
The thing that amazed me was the number of porta potties they had. I mean, literally one entire side of the Epcot parking lot completely full. I mean, side to side porta potties. There had to be.
We made some on the way though.
There had to be several hundred.
Yeah, there were. Well, let me get to the incident, as Matt would like me to get to it. So I'm running along at a pretty good clip. Now, on last year, it was very cold, and it was probably in the high 30s, low 40s at 6 o'clock.
It was 36.
It was 36. So a lot of us had, we had layers. So we had, besides running shorts, we had long pants, and we had, regular shirts, and we had like sweatshirts over. So we had most of us had layers on, and they had said to us, as the race goes along and you get warm and the sun comes up and whatever, discard your outer layers along the side of the road. You don't want to toss it just in back of you, in front of you. You don't want someone to step on your outer garment that you're discarding and hurt themselves. So I kept that in mind, and we're getting to the Magic Kingdom, and just before, right around where the guard shack is to the Magic Kingdom, I decided I needed to discard my sweatshirt. So I took it off, and as I pulled it over my head, I didn't want to stop my wonderful pace. And when I tossed it, my left foot landed funny, and I don't know what I landed on. I assume I landed on several shirts and I thought I had twisted my ankle. And I hurt. I remember stumbling, but not hitting the ground. I remember everybody saying, "Are you okay?" And then the only thing that I kept on thinking is, I'm going to finish. I'm not going to stop. But it was very painful running up Main Street, USA. And I'm running, and that was about 5.5 miles into it. And I kept
8 miles to go.
And I kept going, and I kept running till I got to about the 9-mile mark. And my leg was kind of hurting a little bit. So I saw one of the volunteers who I thought was the paramedic, and he had this big bottle of BioFreeze. So I thought, I'll freeze it. It won't hurt as much, and I'll finish the race, and I'll take care of it after the race. So I went over to the guy. I actually stopped, which was, oh my God, I didn't want to stop because that just kills me when I stop running because it's tough for me to get going again. So about 9 miles out, I said, hey, could you spray my ankle with that? I kind of twisted it, and it's hurting a little bit. And he said, well, you'll have to take your running shoe off. And I said, no way, Jose.
He's not getting it back on.
You're not going to get it back on. So I said, that's okay. I'll figure out something. So I was just stuffing myself with aspirin and whatever the Advil, whatever they had. They had these Paxland. You remember there was like gel with caffeine in them. I'm taking everything, figuring that whatever I can do to.
I actually brought a couple with me. They're the
gel packs of some kind. So I'm trying to do anything to pump the adrenaline, but it was really hurting. So I started to walk, and it was killing me because as I'm walking past the mile markers, I'm thinking, oh, my average is really going down. And then as I was getting closer to Epcot, I'm thinking, I can't walk across that finish line. It's just I trained too long. So I started.
It kills me.
Even if it kills me, so I started jogging. So that last hill, I'm starting to go up, and I'm thinking, yeah, this hurts like heck, but I'm just going to keep going. So I'm running. I get to Epcot, and the adrenaline starts, and and there's just tons of people.
Yeah.
And I remember that when I was just coming to the finish line, the PA announcer mentioned my name, and when I heard my name, it's like I had no pain, and I actually sprinted to the finish line, and my foot was like 3 times the size that it should have been, and I thought I had done a little bit of damage.
He was dragging a boot with him or something.
4 days later, I finally went to the doctor, and the doctor said,
"Yes, you don't want to rush these things."
Yeah, she said, "You broke your ankle," and and the next time I went in to see her, I had to show the medal that made me want to run the race. So a word to the wise is that if you are taking part in this race this year, and it's cold, and you are wearing layers, and if you want to discard
watch out
your
for
layer,
where Mike throws his stuff.
Yeah, I think it's good to. It's like this: go over to the side, stop running, take it off, look around, and then continue running. But you always got to look. I look at my feet all the time now when I'm running. It's amazing.
He's run into a few light poles because of this, but it's better than breaking something.
Yeah, I got a couple of black eyes, but my foot's okay.
Yeah, it's all fine. It's all
fine. Now, with all of that, of course, there's some other important information before we got a little sidetracked over here. Now, what's the weather like in January? Because it can be very variable.
Oh man, last year was freezing. Last year was
before
cold.
It was warm.
The year before it was like they actually told us to slow down. They said I think it was like 65 at race time 2 years ago, and they actually told us that as temperatures got above 70 or 75 to knock this many seconds off of your pace time so that you don't dehydrate or whatever.
Yeah, right.
But and last year was
God.
Last year was cold.
Last year was very cold.
There was this guy from Australia who was Australia or the UK was there, and he had come in just as a running singlet and some shorts, and I had on sweatpants and a sweatshirt. And I mean, dude was there at like 4 o'clock in the morning, just 2 hours before the race, freezing. He was turning blue, so I gave him my sweatshirt. And I know, it
so
felt
cute.
Like Green. I know it was. We hugged a little bit.
Mean Len Green.
Exactly, Mean Len Green. And but it was bitter cold.
Yeah. It wasn't as cold when I left Scopa Towers. It was actually in the high 40s when I left Scopa Towers, and then
It's
it just
still cold.
got colder and colder. I mean, one thing that everyone has to realize when you decide if you want to run this race is that your wake-up call is probably going to be like at 2:30 or 3 o'clock.
That's what mine was.
So it's like, the night before, you got to hit the sack early, and hopefully you're not too excited. And it's a long day. And Saturday is quite an experience, though. And I think that anyone who's an avid runner should try this at least once. You'll never forget it, especially if you sustain an injury.
It was a lot of fun, though. I mean, I just didn't have time to train this year, but it is a hoot.
Yep.
Now, how do you get to the race from your resort? Is there Disney transportation running that early in the morning?
Practice.
Yes. You can take a bus.
Or just run.
You can run the monorail. Those who are on the monorail resorts in the Magic Kingdom area can take the monorail. I drove because I wanted to sit down. I wanted to make sure I could sit down at the end of the race. And
you drove?
Actually, I drove there. I drove to Epcot. I was there about 3:30 in the morning.
Did they charge you for parking?
Nope. Well,
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I'm at Scopa Towers. Jeez.
Okay.
I'll tell you though, there were 35,000 people at Epcot at about 3:30
Just
in
the
the
number
morning.
of people. It's like Lollapalooza. I mean,
Yeah.
you've got to find the right
Wow.
tent to get in because there's an admission thing, and it's crazy. And you know, you're trying to hydrate ahead of time, and invariably,
You don't want to hydrate too much because then you're gonna have to stop.
Yeah, then you gotta
you
go to the
know,
bathroom, and
yeah.
that was the thing. The thing that shocked me the first year was to see women runners just jogging off the side of the trail,
Yeah.
dropping trow, and going to the bathroom, literally on the side of the road, and it's just because you don't have
Yeah.
time to.
I can tell you that I thought the only companion I'd have was going to be the tree, and then I turned to one side and there's somebody named Shirley, and it's like, whoa, what's going on?
Shirley, he's like Scopa.
Hi, I'm Mike.
There are trees there that are yellow this year, but
Yeah, that was the amazing thing, and it was a lot of fun. I mean, you get to talk with people while you're running, and
In the trees.
to meet people, and there's
you see characters along the way. There are
Characters,
DJs
there are
along
bands,
the
yeah.
way. There are bands. It's really it's what we used to call in the '60s a happening.
I mean, it really is a lot of fun. You don't have to run fast. You can run slow like Scopa and still have a really good time.
Oh.
Dude, he had
Oh,
to say
jokes
that.
on Scopa tonight. Wow.
I know.
What did you... Jeez,
No, but
Mike,
it's
what
no,
did-
really. It is. I mean, the first year I ran slow, and it was fun. Last year I kind of tried to run as fast as I could, and it was a little bit less fun. But still, it was. It's a good weekend. I mean, you're walking around, the theme park. I finished the race. Literally, I finished the race in Epcot, and then toured Epcot for the entire morning with my family.
It's
And,
kind of cool walking
nice.
around with a medal around your neck, though. It's really cool.
Yeah, you
And
feel
I-
like Flavor Flav. It's like just.
Yeah.
This is how he feels every day. This
Not
is
exactly.
Awesome.
Yeah, yeah. And I saw people in crutches at the end of the day. We ate at Cape May Cafe that night, and we saw people there with medals, but they had crutches. I mean, there are a lot of people who really just go overboard with the race, and it's really tough to establish a personal record in the Walt Disney World Half Marathon because there's so many things going on, and
Yeah.
it's just so hard to concentrate on just pure running. It really is. It's just a fun thing to do, and that's why I'm doing it.
Great. That's it for us today. If you want to find older episodes, read our show notes, or send us your comments, visit the Walt Disney World Today website at wdwtoday.com. You can also email us at questions@wdwtoday.com. For Len Testa, Mike Scopa, and Mike Newell, I'm Matt Hochberg. We'll see you on the next show. Watch out for the Vaseline.